Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unpacking something absolutely fascinating, the deeply ingrained cultural superstitions surrounding the Islamic month of Safar. We're going to break down exactly where these myths come from, what the actual historical and religious texts say, and how pure faith completely clashes with these widespread societal fears. If you've ever wondered why certain times of the year are suddenly deemed unlucky, well, you are in the exact right place. To really understand the absolute grip of these superstitions, I want you to picture a highly relatable scenario that plays out in countless households every single year. So it's evening, the family is gathered around, and a respected elder, maybe an auntie, looks up from her phone and announces the Safar moon has been sighted. Instantly, this eerie, heavy silence falls over the entire living room. Suddenly, a perfectly normal month of the year is treated like an impending disaster. But we really have to ask the critical question, is Safar actually unlucky? Okay, let's dive into this because it's quite astonishing to see how society reacts to this simple calendar change. Just because of a moon sighting, mothers immediately cancel upcoming marriages, absolutely terrified that a wedding in Safar is going to end in ruin. Fathers physically close down their shops and businesses, actively taking a financial hit just to avoid supposed bad luck. Youth abandon travel plans for promising new jobs, and even teachers delay exam preparations for their students. Entire communities literally halt their daily lives, basing major life decisions entirely on baseless fears rather than any factual religious grounding.
Section 1. Superstition and Reality. When you actually stop and ask people why they're putting their entire lives on hold during this month, the most common, almost automated answer you'll get is simply, well, our elders said so. But is there any actual proof for that? Let's think about this logically for a second. Did the Creator or the Prophet ever actually forbid marriages or business in this specific month? If you search the foundational texts, the answer is an absolute zero. Not a single restriction exists. These rules are entirely man-made, built on generations of whispers rather than any actual theological evidence.
Section 2. Old Practices of Jahiliyyah.
And this brilliantly illustrates how these baseless beliefs aren't new at all. They are deeply rooted in the ancient pre-Islamic era of Arabia, historically known as Jahiliyyah, or the Age of Ignorance. In pre-Islamic times, ancient astrologers and soothsayers used the calendar to control the masses. They were halting travel, suspending trade, and hanging up swords in fear of the month of Safar. Why? So they could extort money by selling protective amulets and demanding sacrifices. It was all about control and money. Contrast that with the Islamic reality, continuing daily life normally and trusting the Creator for provision and safety. Sadly, that ancient extortion through fear echoes very loudly in today's societal superstitions.
Section 3. Islam's Clear and Decisive Answer.
To completely break those ancient chains of fear and replace them with liberating teachings, the Prophet made a pivotal, uncompromising declaration. Documented in the highly authoritative texts of Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, he explicitly said, "No disease is naturally contagious, no bad omens, no owl is unlucky, and Safar is not unlucky." Look at how direct that is. He negated 4 major superstitious fears of the time, placing Safar right at the end to make it unequivocally clear. The month holds absolutely no inherent bad luck whatsoever. None.
In fact, the Prophet took this so seriously that he repeated another phrase, not once, not twice, but 3 times, just to ensure the message deeply penetrated the hearts of his followers. Bad omen is shirk. Shirk means associating partners with God, which is the absolute gravest boundary to cross in Islamic theology. Repeating it 3 times highlights its absolute severity. Fearing that a calendar month has the magical power to harm you is essentially doubting the Creator's absolute power. It's attributing divine control to a mere measurement of time.
Section 4. The biggest proof from history.
Let's look at the actual historical events that occurred in Safar, because it is fascinating. In the pre-Hijra era, 11 tribes plotted against the Prophet. It was arguably the most dangerous moment of his life. But look at what happens next. Safar, the first year after Hijra, the Great Hijra, the momentous migration to Medina, actually begins in Safar. Then, in Safar of the second year, we have the Ghazwa Abwa, a major expedition. And throughout the ongoing era, the companions regularly traded, traveled, and married during this month. Let me ask you, would the Creator ever command his beloved Prophet to undertake the most dangerous, monumental journey of his life during an unlucky month? No way.
Now, what's really interesting about this piece of history is the ultimate irony of it all.
The greatest journey to save the Prophet, the very journey that established the foundation of the Muslim world, happened in the exact same month people today are absolutely terrified to travel in. Far from being a cursed or stagnant time, history proves Safar was actually a month of immense blessing, divine protection, and incredible foundation building.
Section 5. What should we do?
So how do we handle this today? Here are 4 highly actionable steps to combat these superstitions in your daily life. Step 1. Seek knowledge. The next time someone tells you Safar is unlucky, respectfully ask them for proof from the religious texts. Spoiler alert, they won't find any. Step 2, make dua. Harness the power of prayer by reciting the specific supplication for the new moon, asking for peace and faith. Step 3, give charity. The sources tell us that sadaqah, or charity, removes hardships in any month. If you're feeling anxious, give to those in need. And finally, step 4, practice tawakkul. This means absolute trust in the Creator. Step out of your house, say Bismillah, and go about your life with total confidence.
Because ultimately, the true formula for success in this life has absolutely nothing to do with avoiding certain months on a calendar. True success lies only in total obedience to the Creator and following the prophetic traditions. It requires us to intellectually recognize that any harm or hardship we face is a result of our own actions and worldly trials, not some magical curse radiating from a specific time of year. And maybe most importantly, it's about overcoming that paralyzing societal fear of what will people say and replacing it with unshakable faith.
So I want to leave you with a provocative question. Will you worry about what people say or what your Creator says? It is time to confidently discard these outdated societal myths. Trust entirely in your faith. Live your life fully. Seriously, get married, start that business, take that trip, and share this truth to save others from the trap of paralyzing superstitions. Thank you so much for exploring this explainer with me today, and keep learning.